recommend that we follow the regulative principles, even after the development of spontaneous love for Krishna. According to the regulative principles, there are 9 departmental activities as described above. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, so on. And one should specifically engage himself in the type of devotional service for which he has a natural aptitude. For example, one person may have a particular interest in hearing, another may have a particular interest in chanting, and another may have a particular interest in serving in the temple. So these, or any of the other 6 different types of devotional service, remembering, serving, praying, engaging in some particular service, being in a friendly relationship, or offering everything in one's possession, should be executed in full earnestness. In this way, everyone should act according to his particular taste. So there's external taste of regulative devotional service, hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, and so on. And then there's an internal taste of a direct personal relationship with Krishna that follows in the footsteps of the great devotees. So in the external sense, we follow in the footsteps of spiritual master and the instructions given in the scriptures for regulative devotional service. And in the internal side, we serve Krishna according to the descriptions in the scriptures of the great devotees who have attained success in devotional service in the past. So, is that all clear? Do we have any questions? This is an important point, because this is, you see, this is like the interface or the junction or the boundary between regulative devotional service and spontaneous devotional service, between Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. You see? So how do we handle this subtle relationship between the two? And what Prabhupada is recommending, or Srila Rupa Goswami is recommending, is that one always act externally like one on the Vaidhi platform. So, if we go to the temple, it's not like we walk up to the altar and embrace the deity, though we may want to. We come in like everybody else and bow down and say the prayers that go through, follow all the etiquette, follow the protocol. We don't act special, like dancing all crazy and, I mean, people do this. I've seen people do it. And they want to be accepted as great devotees. And so they imitate. There's a great story about a rascal Brahmana who saw Haridas Thakur become engaged in spontaneous display of ecstatic symptoms. Sometimes the ecstatic symptoms become so overwhelming that the devotee can't stop them. I think we had an instance of that a couple of days ago. But mostly the devotees, they try to cover up their ecstatic symptoms and just act normal. But actually these ecstatic emotions are going all the time, internally, you see. But externally they try to act like a normal devotee. But anyway, Haridas Thakur was overwhelmed with emotion after he saw the dance of the snake charmer. The snake charmer was possessed by the king of snakes, Shankarshan. Sankarshan is an expansion of Baladev. And so he was dancing this special dance. Who knows what that was like. But as soon as Haridas saw this, he became overwhelmed with ecstasy. And he went into all kinds of devotional symptoms, falling on the ground, crying out Krishna's name, tears, goosebumps all over his body, and so on and so on. And this is in India where it's really hot. you know. So it's not like he was cold, like here. Here, if we get goosebumps, it's not ecstatic symptoms. It's winter down here. But he was demonstrating all these wonderful symptoms. And finally, he like got himself together and got up, you know. But there was this other guy, this Brahmana there, who was a little bit of a rascal. And he saw all the people going, you know, giving Haridas a lot of attention. And he thought, well, I'll do the same thing and I'll get people to, you know, give me attention too. So he started imitating, right? And then the snake charmer, who was still like under the influence of Sankarshan, took one look at this guy and started to beat him with a stick. It was all he could do to, like, you know, get away from the snake charmer and run off. And so the crowds then asked the snake charmer, why did you beat that guy? You didn't beat the other guy. And he said, oh, well, he's a real devotee. This rascal was just imitating. See? So somebody who is really advanced or who really has spiritual perception, they can see the difference. Ordinary people can't see the difference. Ordinary people can be fooled. Our senses are imperfect, so, you know, it's always possible to be deceived. But someone who is himself on that platform of spontaneous devotional service, they know, they can tell. I'll never forget, the first time I ran into devotees who were on this spontaneous platform. I think actually they were sahajas, but that's another story for another day. I was really amazed because, for example, you know, when we offer prasadam, we put a nice plate and we put flowers, or, you know, we offer incense and we ring a bell and we say prayers and bow down very nicely. It's a little bit ceremonial and like that. But these guys, they were going with a plate and taking a spoon and touching the food to the mouth of the deity, and then taking a chapati and giving it to Krishna, putting it right in his mouth. Krishna, eat. And I was like, ah! I'd never seen anything like that before, you know. I'd always seen this very formal, ritualistic kind of offering. But, you know, come to think of it, why not? Anyway, the regulative versus spontaneous service means that regulative principles are observed externally, but the spontaneous love is developed internally. Did they come up with any questions?
No.
No questions?
Hold on a second. Okay.
So the question is, in the development of a devotee, in the beginning, how, what do we do with this chapter?
I was just going to reach for the stick.
In the sense of, like, we are still, you know, struggling with our own contaminations. So then there's a tendency that, you know, if some attraction for a certain devotee or some desire comes up that, hey, you know, this devotee service is so nice, and I tend to check myself saying, okay, no, hang on, you know, that might just be a product of some material speculation or whatever. So wait, you know, just do your service, maintain the service attitude, and later on, when I'm more pure, then I can think about it.
Yeah, you won't be able to help yourself when you really get there. When you actually get to eligible for the spontaneous stage, you won't be able to stop yourself. It's like you'll be so attracted to the particular kind of service that you know, you won't be able to help yourself. You'll just have to do it. But what I want to avoid, the reason why we're discussing this, is to avoid devotees inhibiting themselves when they actually get to that stage. See? If they actually get to that stage and they say, oh boy, I would really like to serve Krishna like that devotee, you know, and then thinking, oh, but I can't do that because I'm supposed to follow these regulative principles. See, I want to avoid that. See, so when you develop this real attraction, it's like, well, for one thing, it won't change. You won't think one day, oh, this devotee's service is very nice, and then the next day, oh, this other devotee in a completely different mood, their service is very nice. See, this is discussed in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, in the first section, the Lord's mercy, where Narada goes around to all these different devotees, and he goes. One minute he goes, oh, the Pandavas, they're the greatest devotees. They really have Krishna's mercy. And then he goes to them and he praises them and everything. And then they go, oh, no, no, no.